Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to Sounds from the Shed. That's our podcast that's geared towards the independent artists and the movers and shakers of the music industry. And today, man, I'm so excited. I got one of my buddies, one of my fellow South Georgians, Mr. Aaron Brown, hanging out with us today. Aaron, how are you, brother?
I'm doing well, brother. How about yourself?
Man, I'm tickled to death. I'm so glad. I know you're busy, wide open. You're taking a little time out of your day to come hang out with us, and so appreciative of it. And now
Yeah,
you're
man.
a fellow South Georgia boy, right?
Yes, sir. Home and grew up in old Baxley, Georgia, in southeast
Back to Georgia.
Georgia.
Please tell them about your latest release you've got that you just dropped the end of September.
So, this song is called "He Never Let Go." And it's a crazy story. I was just in another interview not too long ago, and I was talking about this story, and I really went. I done the writers round version of the song, the story of the song,
Uh-huh.
and it's just insane how just God puts songs on your heart. And it's just mind blowing to me. Just like because like me growing, I'll tell a little bit my story here. I grew up singing in church with my family. My family sang professionally gospel music for many years, 30, 40 years.
Hmm.
And just growing up in that aspect, and then I've always loved country music. Like I always loved, like, Vern Gosdin and Keith Whitley and all those older guys. And
Yeah.
but I also love, like, the Nealons, Jason Crabb, and all those Southern gospel artists as well. And that's where my influence came from, especially now in my songwriting world that I live in now. And then also putting out music. This song comes from just comes from my roots.
Hmm.
This is I just felt the calling on my life to write a song about the good news of Jesus, about the
Yeah.
grace that he brings, and I just felt the calling to do that. So I went. So I was on the way to Nashville with my best friend Hannah, and then on the road with Derek again. I play guitar for Derek Fires, also, everybody,
Hmm.
great guy as well. Um, had a situation that kind of blew up in my face, and on the way home, I was just on the way home from the gig. I didn't get home about 5 or 6 o'clock that morning, and life just beat the crap out of me, and I just said I don't know what to do. And I told some of the guys the other day in the interview, I was like, I'm a Christian, but I like my whiskey and my country music. I do say that,
Yeah.
but I just felt the presence just fall over me when I got home, and and I prayed about the situations in life that were going on with me. And then, long story short, stuck in Chattanooga traffic on the way to Nashville.
It happens right there.
Yeah, it
I know
happens.
exactly where you're talking about.
Yeah, exactly. Right before you go up the mountain, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
I know exactly where you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. And I was talking to Hannah, who's my best friend, who wrote the song with me, and she I told her about what was going on, and I told her, I said, I just have something. I just felt we need to write. We need to write.
Yeah.
I need to get
Got to
out of
get
my
it out.
sin. Yeah, I got to get it out. So we got to write. So we go on about our business. So we get to Nashville, and um, I go to bed, and we have our morning coffee. And this is where it gets crazy. And we stayed at Music Row, right across from Big Louder Records, where Hardy and Morgan's
Hmm.
all signed to. And I'm glad we stayed there, because that was very big inspiration for me. Just
Yeah.
that, because those guys have been just an influence on me for sure, especially in the songwriting realm as well. And
Hmm.
so Hannah go puts her coffee cup up, and I I kept just hanging out outside, and she said, "Aaron, come in here." And after that, in about 15 minutes, we wrote this entire song and sent it to my producer. And it's just amazing. We wrote this full thing in 15 minutes, and then about 20 minutes we demoed it. And, and this is what you get. He never let go. And it's just
Isn't it
crazy
crazy when
how.
it just pours out like that?
Yeah, exactly. Like, we didn't change a thing. Every line was the first written line on the piece of paper, and I played it and figured out the melody, and I figured out the music in about two
Yeah.
minutes and sent it on in. I was like, yeah, I got to cut it. I got to cut this song.
Are you
And
cutting all your stuff up in Nashville?
so I do two producers, actually. I have my main producer, Lucas Woodgeard, out of Macon, Georgia,
Hmm.
and a great guy, great producer, man. Easy to work with, man. He's just a great guy. And then I have another guy named Ben Miller at Catalyst Music Group in Nashville, who I done a lot of stuff with, and he's my main Nashville guy that I use when I'm in Nashville. I need to cut
Mhm.
something, I'll use him. And but yeah, Ben is great people. He plays guitar for Trey Lewis, and he played with Shenandoah, Jamie Lynn Spears, a lot of great acts, and he's been around, and he's the one that got me up in the realm of Nashville a lot, especially in the producer world. So
Yeah.
it's all about connections, man. It's
It's
all
a
about networking.
relationship game.
Yeah,
I've had this discussion with several artists, and we always come back to the same thing. It's not a competition. It's a community. You lean on
yeah,
each other. You support each other. Um, and that's one of the wonderful things that I've learned about it as I've gotten older. I'm like, look, it's in a
mm,
competition. We need to go
nah,
out here and love on each other and just watch each other grow. And when people have wins, you applaud them and just and stick with them. So that's cool.
you're right. Like I said, and I finally found my group of people who are like that, because nowadays just the industry is just so cutthroat
Yeah.
nowadays.
And
And
it's
then
different. It's really different out there now. It's an indie world, and record
yep,
labels, they aren't signing artists anymore. They're signing audiences. So if you got an
yep,
audience, they'll sign you. But if you don't have an audience, you can be one of the greatest guitar players and singers in the world if you want to. But if you don't have an audience, they're not interested in you at all.
yeah, like it's changed. If it's changed since I first started in
Yeah.
2019 in
That's
country.
what I was
Like
going to
it's
ask you.
changed so
So
much
just give
then.
me a little brief history of when you got started, because it sounds like you and I have basically the same uh, lifespan, or not lifespan, but same trail of how it happened. My folks had a gospel group growing up, so I grew up in it. My mom was in radio, and so we just kind of grew up in it, which is a beautiful thing because
Yeah.
Aaron, you know as well as I do, there's nothing more amazing than hearing your family members singing some good gospel music when you're a kid. I
Amen to
remember,
that.
I remember just sitting there like and watching my granddaddy finger pick. Well, it was that guitar right there. He was just
Wow.
he would that thumb hold the bass line down and doing everything else with all the other fingers. It truly is amazing stuff. So 2019 is when you got your start.
Yeah. So going back to the gospel music realm, I sang my first time actually full time in music in general. I was about 17 years old. I joined my family's group.
Hmm.
And believe it or not, I was actually a bass singer in high
Oh wow,
school,
yeah,
actually. And I actually sang bass for them for a little bit. And, I was keeping it down the low end. And then it's kind of crazy. It's like my voice changed and I went from a bass singer and now I sing like almost like Gary LeVox now. It's just insane. I don't know
yeah.
how it happened. I'm just hitting. I'm not a tenor, but I just my range is just so it's just amazing. I can't explain it. But I joined them 2017 around the winter, and then I sang with my family's group. And sometimes when I'm home, I still do fill in with them sometimes. But around when COVID happened, so my uncle, before the reason he started going back on the road, he was diagnosed with stage 4 brain cancer,
Hmm.
and he was healed of that, and he had a calling on his life to share his testimony with people and tell people that there's still healing, and there is. I've seen it many times in my life, and we went on the road, and then around 2020 he was they got off the road because of his health, and his health wasn't doing well during
Yeah.
then. And then and that was when I got to the point in my life to where I was in between wanting to teach school and coach football or do music full time.
Mhm.
And then
So are
just
you a
one.
full time musician or do you have a day job? Or
Now I am a full time musician. That is my 9 to 5.
man,
That's
bless
my
your heart.
20. That is my 24-hour job. And that's the decision I made. And I was like, they came off the road, and I said, you know what? Let me just let's try it out and see. I'm young. Like I got nothing to lose. Like I
Yeah.
said, I'm in college. I ain't got nothing to lose. So let's try it out. And I think that's one of the best decisions I think I've ever made.
I think the first video I
So
ever saw you, I was scrolling on TikTok and you just came up on my For You page and you were sitting on the couch strumming that acoustic. Is that your dad next to you?
yes, sir, it is.
Oh man, I'm telling you, Aaron, treasure, treasure, treasure those moments of him sitting there with you on that.
I did. He's the reason I picked up a guitar. And I'll tell you the story, and that goes back to the story about starting out. So I was in, but this is probably right before COVID, not even a couple weeks before COVID. And I asked my dad for Christmas. I was a freshman in college. I was broke because I was trying to pay college bills, and by God, it's expensive.
Yeah.
Uh, and I asked my dad, and I said, you know what? I wanna. We were sitting there listening to Keith Whitley
Mhm.
one day, like we always do when I'm home. And I told him, I was like, Dad, I think I want to try this songwriter and this singer stuff out. And I learned how to play the drums, and I've always been musically talented. Um, or that's what my parents always say. They said I was singing coming out the womb. Apparently, that's
Yeah.
what my mama tells me. And I said, Dad, I just want a guitar for Christmas. If you get that for me, like I say, you don't have to if you don't want to, but I really like a guitar for Christmas. And
Mhm.
he said, yeah, well, son, but you got to do it on one condition. If you learn my favorite song, I will let you have this guitar. And it was "Don't Close Your Eyes" by Keith Whitley,
Yeah.
which is one of my favorite songs of all
Mhm.
time.
Mine too, brother.
And
I still say
and
Keith Whitley is the greatest voice in country music ever.
indeed, him and Daryl Singletary
Yeah.
to
Yep.
me.
I'm with you, brother.
And and in about a week and a half, 2 weeks, I learned how to play that song, and the rest is history,
Yeah.
man. I learned how to play guitar, and then that's when it started. The songwriting started, and then I've probably written probably close to 175, 200 songs since
Wow.
then. So,
Are
like I
you
said, I write.
dedicating your time? Do you dedicate a certain amount of time every day to write? Is that what
I
you're doing?
do. I do. It just that's just what I do. Honestly, like I
It's a
said,
great
I
habit to
get
have. Yeah.
it is, and I'm trying to, and the reason I do it so much and I try to write every single day is because I'm trying to master the craft of songwriting. Because when I first started, man, these songs that I first wrote, oh my God, they're terrible. I can just go that they're just awful, you know. And I'm just trying to not trying to perfect the craft of
Yeah.
trying to make it,
You just
but
want to grow.
yeah, I just want to grow in the business. Like I said, I just want to grow with my songwriting because you never know, one of those 175 songs or the future ones that I write, it may become something big for me. And
Yeah.
that's why I do it. And you know, and I try to hammer it down to some like young guys. Like I just try to tell them, I said, learn as much as you can in the poetry world. Learn as much as you can. Write with different people is what I'm saying. Just
Yeah.
learn like me writing with the writers that I do now, like Nate Baker, for example, that I write with all the time. Me and him's probably written close to 85, 100 maybe. And then writing with Hannah Milliken, who I write with, and then writing
Mhm.
with the people I do in Nashville. Just and that's what helps me a lot, and that's how I learn is writing with different people, learning how the process works, and just learning how to write a magnificent song. I learned so much. Like I
Yeah.
said,
You're going to appreciate it even more when you get older because, life is full of seasons. And you're going to really appreciate all those songs when you really get older and you go to looking back, even if they don't hit. I mean, because it's just like with myself, I've been writing for years and years and years, and there was probably was 15 to 20 years went by. I wrote stuff that nobody even knew about it. I just had it in notebooks and I just wrote it, didn't record it. It was just kind of just stuck back there.
yeah,
And now I go back and I look at that stuff and I'm like, I remember that season in my life. So you're really going to enjoy that this whole ride. It's going to be phenomenal for you. So
it is, man. Like I said, it's been a wild one already. I'll tell you what, it's just the past year, past 2 years actually. It's been insane, especially when TikTok became a big part of my life when
mhm.
I done talking going back to my dad, going back to that video that when I woke up the next morning and it had 200,000 views, I was like,
Yeah.
okay, this might be the time. I better go ahead. And I felt like I was already prepared for it because, like I said, like I worked my butt off so many like 3-4 years before that, and just preparing myself
Yeah.
just for the spark of when this may be the time that I need to get
And you never
prepared.
know what's going to hit song
Exactly.
wise or TikTok video or whatever content you post. You just never know. And I've talked to a lot of guys that have gone down this journey and they say, Lord, that was just something I just threw out there. But then you spend all this time to build something and prepare something or make it look real nice and real polished, and you put it out and it doesn't do anything. So you
Yeah.
really honestly just never know.
Yeah,
But I'm
you
going to
never
tell
know.
you, the first time I saw that video with you playing the Hank Williams Jr. song and your dad sitting over there, I'm like, God, I'd give anything to be that dude with my dad sitting right
Yeah.
there just hanging out, just strumming. So that
Yeah.
struck a chord with me. And it was just a cover. I mean, you did a Hank Williams Jr. cover, and of course it did real well for you.
It did. I think I looked yesterday and it had 660,000 views.
Yeah.
It's just insane, you know.
Yeah.
And like I said, going back to that video is just off the cuff. Like I didn't
Yeah.
know I was being recorded. I swear to you. I tell everybody's like, "Oh, this was pre." I was like, "No, it was not." I
It
didn't
was a
know my mom.
moment. That was
It
a
was a
moment,
moment.
brother. That was a
Yes,
moment. You had a moment. So
and I didn't know. And the crazy thing about it is that was the first time I ever practiced or played that song ever.
yeah.
The first time I heard that song being as a cover was Luke Combs, guitar player. He was on the God and Country podcast. I think that's right. I
Hmm.
may be wrong. And he heard it, and it was the best version. And I was like, God, he sounds like me. It sounds good.
Yeah.
And it was that day. And I was like, you know what? When I get back, I went to go eat dinner with some friends that night. And I was like, I'm going to come back and practice that. And I get home. I was off the road. So dad was here. Mom was here. I come to visit for a minute
Yeah.
before I had to go back off the road again. And dad was like, and I was just picking on the guitar. We just hanging out watching the ball game, and I pick on that guitar, and my mom must have knew it was a special moment what I was doing that I
Dude,
didn't
it
know. I was
was.
just because we do it all the time. When I'm
Yeah.
home off the road all the time, I get the guitar out, and Dad wants
Yeah.
to hear me sing. We'll pick them old great George Jones, Keith Whitley songs,
Hmm.
Vern Gosdin, John Connolly. That's
Yeah.
what we do. We love music.
Yeah.
And then I didn't know mom, and I saw mom at the end of that video. I don't know if you can see it or not. I turned around and then I saw mom with her phone up, and I was like, and she put her phone down. I was like, I didn't know I was being filmed. It was crazy. But I didn't know how good the moment was.
Yeah.
I was so in zone about what I was saying because I was practicing. And
Yeah.
that's just how I am. And
Sure.
my mom was like, Aaron, you need to post this. I was like, and I watched it and I was like, okay. It was just something I said, Mama said it, let's just do it. I'm just going to
Mom, hey,
post it.
mama's always
Yeah.
right.
Amen to that. She is. She was right on this night for
Mama's
sure.
always right.
And then Mama said to me and I posted, and like I said, I left it alone. I went on about my business and went to bed. And the next morning, I had about 100, 250 notifications on TikTok. And I
Mhm.
woke up the next morning and it had 275,000 views. I was like,
Wow.
okay. I was like, okay, this is. I panicked for a minute. And I was like, okay, this is. That's when I saw Ella Langley comment on it. That's when I saw Dylan Carmichael
Yeah.
comment on it. But I've known Ella for a minute. But just seeing people that have never been on my FYP before, it's just
Sure.
insane. It's just
Yeah.
insane.
Well, all too
And
often and I don't know about you, but it's harder to get people to even just give you that little heart nowadays. I mean,
yeah,
you see how many views you have. And I had another artist tell me, they said, "Oh, you just wait. I post my Instagram stories and I get to see all my friends that see my post and they don't give me a heart or a like or nothing." She said, "I bust their chops about it." And I'm like, that's a great idea. I'm gonna do that. Start looking
yeah,
at post my Instagram stories and see who's not interacting with it. They're supposed to be my friends.
yeah, exactly. But going to that, the thing I've learned is, you've got to be so relatable
Yeah,
in the business. You just and I felt like that video was just relatable
it
to a
was,
lot of
dude.
people.
It was an amazing moment. I went ahead and told you my story of what it struck a chord with me, and I'm sure for people to react that way, it struck a chord for them because that's what it takes. It's just like the power of a song. If that song is good enough, you don't have to throw millions and millions of dollars to it for it to blow up. It's
Yeah,
gonna stand on its own. And
yeah.
I'm still waiting on mine. I keep chucking them out there. Keep waiting.
Keep going, man. Like I said, keep going. I have to say it took me about 4 to 5 years to
Yeah,
finally get that moment, man. Like I said,
yeah. It was an
and it.
incredible moment. And dude, I'm
Thank you,
so
man.
excited. I love this new release you've got. It is a wonderful, wonderful song. And
Thank you.
nowadays we've come to the point. I think some artists now are too afraid, I guess, to talk about faith or to praise him in a song. It's they're getting seems like it's getting few and far between hearing artists doing that. I hope that
Yeah.
comes back around to where it's cool again. You know.
Yeah, right. And like I said, as me as an artist, I'm always going to be real with you. Like I
Yeah,
said, and that song's very real to me, and that song's really my testimony, honestly. And I feel like me sharing my testimony can help others who's going through struggles in life, you know.
absolutely.
And I just feel like that song can bless people, and I hope it does, and continue to do as well.
Yeah.
So
What are you finding right now as being your biggest hurdle? I mean, I guess you're still maintain. Are you going to maintain being an independent artist? Are you looking at signing with a label, or what's your thoughts on that?
the biggest hurdle is with me is I'm in the point of my life to where I know my talent, I know what I can do, I know what I can't do.
Hmm.
I've got to where I found my identity as an artist
Yeah, that's awesome.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was the best day of my life is when I found out, and it was that, and honestly, a full circle moment here. That video is when I knew that the way that I sing, the way that I'm making the songs my own,
Hmm.
even though it's a cover, that's when I knew that my niche can work.
Yeah.
It can work. But the biggest hurdle for me is being seen and just being seen by people that I hate to say this because I don't want to sound conceited, but it just being seen by people who matter in the industry
Hmm.
a little bit, and that's the biggest thing because I believe in myself. That's where it comes in. That's where a lot of artists that I see who are starting out and just put the music behind them because they don't believe in themselves.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, and that's the day one thing. I believed in myself from day one, and that's what's really made me come so far as an artist. It don't matter if it's the singing, the songwriting, the recording. You have to believe in yourself
Hmm.
day one. Day one to the last day, you have to believe in yourself. And right now, I'm just in like, and I was actually talking to someone the other day who was in the business about I'm past the beginning stages. I'm just stuck in the middle of like, I could be somebody amazing that people can love, or I'm just going to stay in this spot where I'm at. I'm like in
Yeah.
the middle ground,
Hmm.
and I'm okay with the middle ground. Like I said, I'm still going to write the music the way that I do. I'm still going to sing the same way that I do. I'm still going to post the content that I still do.
Hmm.
But being independent's been great. Like I said, like I have that. Being independent is a great thing, and I love staying independent. And I recommend people get independent. But like I said, I was telling this guy the other day, I was like, if the right people who want the best for you and not the best for their own wallets, you know, and it's hard,
Good
and there's
luck
a
with
lot of
finding
it.
that one.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing. That's why being independent in this industry
It is,
is
and you're talking about those people that you want to meet. Honestly, they smell the money when it comes
yeah,
around. That's when they come into your neighborhood, and that all falls back to having that audience. Because I've talked to so many record A&R reps, people at labels. I mean, they're still trying to figure it out right now too. The way this music industry has changed, they're still
yeah,
trying to figure it out. So right now they're kind of sticking with, okay, who's got the audience, who's got the following, which you've got that, dude. And you're on your way with that. You're so approachable, and just watching your social media videos, your TikTok videos, you're like the guy next door, dude. Just want to hang out with and just do just like what you and your dad were doing on that couch, just hanging out, playing some songs, and
yeah,
it's so awesome. And there's so many artists out there that do have that following, or they do have that deal, that can't do what you did. They can't do that. They
yeah,
have to have a track, or they have to have someone supporting them to go do the performance. And that's a wonderful blessing that you have. So,
Thank you.
just stick with that for sure. So,
Yeah,
big plans for 2026. What's in the scope for you?
man. I tell you what, 2026 for me is going to be. It, I'll just say this in captions: it's going to get real.
Yeah.
Like just the songwriting. I've got some songs in my back pocket right
You
now.
moving to town or you going to stay south?
Man, it's just and that's the toughest question of all for me because people ask me this all the time. You know, being on the road with Derek playing guitar for him.
Yeah.
You know, Derek also like me and Derek might move to town together. Honestly,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's just the friendship that we have. Like
Yeah.
just that's the reason I'm still on the road with Derek
That's
is
cool. You've got each
because
other to lean on that because
yeah.
you're local guys from home. I mean, and you can move up there and you guys can watch each other's back. That's a really neat thing to have.
Yeah. And I finna say with Derek, like he said, even though I play guitar for him, he 100 million% supports me in my solo career, and
Yeah.
I'm the same way with him. And he helps me out, and I help him out.
It's all part of it all works together. It all does.
Yeah,
Yeah. So,
like I said, my solo career has been better since I joined and played guitar for Derek. Like it's
by the
just
way, folks, we're talking about Derek Flowers.
yes, Derek Flowers, yes,
We never actually said who it was,
yeah,
Aaron. Because I wanted to dedicate this to you. I mean, I know you tour with Derek and you guys are good friends, and he's committed to coming on the show, and I want him to come on the show. But I really wanted to dedicate this whole time for you. But we want to tell people who it is you're actually touring with and playing
yes,
with. And I'm loving the material he's been coming out with lately.
yes, man. Like I said, great people, great boss man. Like I said, it's awesome.
Yeah.
But for as a solo going solo, like there has been discussions about putting an album out for me. I thought about doing a live album actually.
Mm,
Doing a live acoustic album with music videos with them.
yeah.
Because it's people going back to TikTok again. Uh, People have just been hounding me about putting some acoustic material out
Mm-hmm.
with covers and all that, and I actually have an outline for this next album, and it's like I said, it's just gonna get real. Like I said, I'm always gonna be real with everybody. Like my music's gonna be the same way, and I'm always real. I'm not gonna sugarcoat anything. I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
put the songs out the way that I'm gonna write them. And if it hurts your feelings, I'm sorry, but that just I got to make a point across. You know.
Man, I don't think you're gonna hurt anybody's feelings. Not what you've got going on so far. I mean, because your stuff has been fantastic, and
Thank you,
I
man.
can't wait to see what else comes out with you guys, you and Derek. I mean, I know y'all work together and you collaborate, but that's what's so cool about this nowadays is you can still collaborate and do a project together, but still go off and do your own side stuff.
Yeah.
What was it? Somebody told me a long time ago. They said every successful band was a side project at one time. I guess that's right. So, all right, tell everybody
Yeah.
your socials, how they can get a hold of you, how can they find you, Aaron?
Let's say Facebook is Aaron Brown. You can find me everywhere about Aaron Brown. Instagram is Aaron Brown Music underscore. My TikTok is Aaron Brown Music 21. Um, Apple Music, Spotify, YouTube, Amazon Music, whatever you can think of. It's all Aaron Brown. Just
Putting your
type in
tour
my
dates, your
name.
show dates on the website so people can, if they want to go see you live.
Yes. Yes. Facebook, Instagram, all socials is on there. On all the socials, all the dates are on there. They're posted every week. So if you miss one of the shows, it's not because of me because I post them every day, just about.
I'm a
So
slacker on putting my stuff on my website. I try to do it on there, but I just get sidetracked on doing everything else. But I'm always throwing it on my Facebook, and I tell people just go on Facebook.
yeah, yeah. If it's say that's where it's at, Facebook. All the
Yeah,
socials, like I say, I post everything. Like I said, big shows coming up, so y'all come out. Like I said, ticket links will be right there with it. I usually try to make everything
yeah,
easy for everybody. So y'all come talk to me, and can't wait to see people down the road at some shows.
yeah. Aaron, thanks for coming on with me today. I appreciate you and wishing you the best, my dear friend.
Thank you, Lord.
Aaron Brown, y'all look him up, guys. Give him the website one more time.
Aaron Brown, Aaron Brown music everywhere. I'm gonna
Everywhere.
say everywhere. You'll find me. I promise you.